Hi, this is Ms. Claywell here with going through the notes of Skill 1 integer operations. So first thing we're going to do is just define what an integer is. An integer is a whole number that's positive or negative. It's no fraction or decimal. So in set notation, this looks like -3, any negative number that's a whole number, 0, and then any positive number that's a whole number. So when we apply these, we can have positive and negative integers. So for example, above sea level, this is 1,025 miles above sea level. So it's going to be a positive 1,029 miles. Sorry, it's just meters. And 155, this 155 down here is 155 meters below sea level. Same with temperature. If a temperature is above freezing, it's going to be like a positive 20. Or like a freezing one is going to be a negative. So we can also use that in the Celsius unit to know positive or negative. One way to order integers is to put them on a number line. So I can go ahead, I'm going to place the 3, the 4, the -2, the -5, the 1, the -7. So if I put these in order, it'd be -7, -5, -2, 1, 3, 4. So integers, the more negative it is, it would be the least. It'd have the least value. Now we're going to talk about adding integers. So for adding integers, if they're the same sign, you're going to add the numbers and keep this sign. If they're different signs, you subtract, you keep the sign of the bigger number. So same sign I'm going to add, keep the sign of the bigger number. If it's different, I'm going to subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. 6 is a bigger number. They're the same. I'm going to add them and keep the sign. Different, I'm going to subtract. My 7 is bigger than my 4, so I'm going to keep the negative. If you think about this a different way, that's fine too. For subtracting integers, you think of it as add the opposite and then follow the addition rules. If you think of it different, that's fine. But this would say add the opposite. And now I'm going to, because there's signs of difference, I'm going to subtract, keep the sign of the bigger. I'm going to add the opposite. I have the same signs, so I can add them. I'm going to add the opposite. So my subtraction becomes addition, and then I change the sign in my 4. And this becomes, I follow the addition sign where I add them, and since they're the same sign, I keep the negative. For addition, they're different, so I subtract and keep the sign of the bigger. If you think of it a different way or think of it on a number line, that's fine too. Multiplying and dividing, if things are the same sign, you make them always positive. If they're opposite signs, they're always negative. So 3 times 9 is 27. Since I have the same signs, it's positive. 9 times 2 is 18. Since I have a positive and a negative, it's negative. 15 divided by 3 is 5 because they're opposite signs. I'm going to make it a negative. So I don't worry about the signs, and I come back and deal with the signs. Same sign, so positive. 9 times 2 is 18. Different signs, so negative. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Different signs, so negative. Okay, Miss McNeely flew to Indianapolis, from Indianapolis to Orlando, Florida. The temperature in Indianapolis was 6 degrees Celsius. In Orlando, the temperature was 17 degrees Celsius. What is the difference between Indianapolis and Orlando? So difference means subtract. So I have 17, and then I'm subtracting my negative 6. And that equals 17 plus 6 equals 23 degrees Celsius. You can also think of this like here's a 0 on a number line, here's 17, here's negative 6. It's asking how much space is in between it. We'd have 23 degrees Celsius between the two. Similar situation here. The submarine is 80 feet below sea level. It ascends 250 feet. So below sea level is going to be negative. Ascend means to rise. So positive. So I have negative 800. And then it raises 250. So I have negative 550. So it's 550 feet below. If it also helps you, you could think of it like a number line. I'm negative 800. I'm going to go 250. I'm now at negative 550. So these are all the bank deposits or withdrawals. So deposit means money coming in, so it's going to be positive. Withdrawals means money coming out, so it's going to be our negative. We started with $59.89, and then all these transaction happens, and it wants to know how much we have at the end of the month. So I have $47 at the end of the month, or $57.47 at the end of the month. So I took my starting amount, and then I saw all the changes that occurred. Yesterday at noon, oh, sorry, this is a whiteboard. This is the last one we're going to do. We're back to a submarine. She begins at sea level. She descends for 106 seconds at 4.5 feet. Then she travels up 64 seconds at 1.6 feet per second. So 4.5 feet per second. Descends means this is going to be negative. Travels directly up is going to be positive. It's 106 seconds. I ended up traveling 477 feet. This is a negative because I was going down. And for 64 seconds, I traveled 1.9 feet per second. So that means I went up 121.6 feet. So I started at 0, then I went down 177, then I went up 121.6. So I end up at negative that. So that's 354.4 feet below sea level. Thanks for watching.